Good day, everyone. My name is Mrs. Ogechi, Edun, and you're welcome to our online class. So today we'll be looking at ethical issues in cybersecurity and information technology. And the topic we're going to be looking at today is intellectual property, plagiarism, and their relationship to cybersecurity and information technology. So it's like protecting the intangible. We're going to be considering that today. So get your pen, your books, your notepads, and join me. Let's, explore this world together. Before I forget or before we proceed, if you have questions, you have comments, or you have things that you would like me to discuss as it pertains to ethics, you could put it on the comment section and I promise to look at it and I'll try my best to respond. Thank you very much. Also, if you want to be seeing comment videos or materials like this when they come out, you could also subscribe so you'll be notified for every new material or video. Okay, so back to our class for today: intellectual property, plagiarism, and their, should I say, their relationship with infotech and cybersecurity. Now, when we say intellectual property, we're talking about the creation of the human mind, something that the human has created that offers value, and then the that particular uh, creation, the human who or the creator is acknowledged for it. Do you understand? So when I say Dangote cement now, we all know who has that company. If I call the person that actually developed the light bulb now, many of you know the name. So that's just the idea. The creator is what is acknowledged for his creation because he has, should I say, created a product of what, of value. So that's what we are terming intellectual what, property. Now we know that physical property is not something of a, should I say, it's not as important, or it's not something that holds value as will I call them intangible properties or digital knowledge. What I'm trying to say is knowledge is now of more value. It is now what we call assets, as against the physical properties like the land and so many other things that we're having in the times of our fathers. So digital knowledge is now something that is more what, valuable. It is now more valuable than several other things that we have. Now, what I'm trying to say is, for your on your screen you see a physical property. It's like it's on a scale. So you see the digital property having to weigh more than the physical property, and that's because it is bringing serious value. Infotech professionals, as well as cybersecurity specialists and so many other tech persons, they tend to create and use this intellectual property. But in doing that, there are some ethical issues surrounding them that we want to be looking at today. So I've been able to explain that assets are things that produce value, and vulnerability, they are unlike the physical property. They are things that can be copied, modified, and transmitted. So it's more like the weakness of a system, and then you have the threat. The ease of access creates critical ethical challenges, including unauthorized use, software piracy, and plagiarism. That is because there is no control of of access. Okay, so at the end of the class, I expect that you should be able to know the following: define plagiarism, what is software piracy, what the intellectual property is all about, why is it important, why does it matter. So these are things we're going to be looking at today. Now, when we say intellectual property, like I said, it refers to the creation of the human mind, producing something that, should I say, gives value, or something that is valuable, an asset, and it is legally and ethically recognized as belonging to a particular creator. So I would not claim the, would I call it glory, or I will not accept accolades for something I have not done. If I did not develop this pen, I won't take accolades for this. You accepting accolade for something you have not done, that is something you're already ethically what? Wrong. So now, very quickly, the kind of creation that the human mind provides, you have software and programs, you have databases and several other designs, you have music and videos, you have research papers, you have inventions, and then you have your mobile what application. Somebody would now ask, why is this intellectual property important? It is important because without it, you have that researchers or rather science tech professionals would not want to invest. They would not want to invest their time into something that is not worth it. Why would I waste my time in developing a product that will be sabotaged in the long run? So there has to be a control, sort of. There has to be a measure. There have to be certain rules and standards in place so that I'll be encouraged to what? To invest my time or my resources in producing something good. So intellectual property is important because protecting the assets is the mitigation protocol that encourages innovation, creativity, research, economic growth, and without it, the motivation to invest is what is gone. Exactly what I just explained. All right. So now there are four distinct frameworks when we talk about intellectual property. What I'm saying is there are four types. You have the copyright, you have the patents, you have the trademark, and then you have the trade word secret. Copyright is more or less protecting the original creative work of a creator. So many, when you read books, it is very common in books. If you look at the books already in the forward page or introduction, you see that there's a C and then they circle around, sometimes even at the back of the book, that shows what? Copyright. In essence, that book, it belongs to a particular person. If you have to take anything or use it, you have to what? Seek what? Consent. So books, articles, software programs, websites, digital what? Content. All of these are things that we find. What we have there again is the patents. So now they are responsible for protecting innovations and innovative technological solutions. The next thing that we have there is the trademark. So the trademark is the use of symbols. Is use of symbols associated with what? With the organization. Then we also have the trade secrets. So the trade secrets are more or less like secrets or information that can actually give an opposing organization competitive edge. So all these are the types of what? Intellectual what? Protection. We have to ensure that we are protected on all sides. So on your screen, you see what it covers as well as the example attached to them. Okay, so moving on. When we say intellectual property in infotech, what do we mean? Now, this what I'm trying to say is in infotech, you have professionals having to develop software, database, websites, user interface, digital content, research reports. This is what you are expecting. It pertains to information technology. Then the next one for cybersecurity, you have to deal with issues like software tools, security frameworks, digital evidence, proprietary technologies, as well as threat intelligence report. So these are things that you consider. Now, when we say understanding plagiarism, we're talking about what do you mean? What do I know about plagiarism? Plagiarism is having to take somebody else's idea as though it is yours, because you have not acknowledged or referenced those who you originally took the idea from. So, and it is both an academic and professional ethical violation. Why is it wrong? It is wrong because it is dishonest. It is also wrong because there's dishonesty, and then it also wrong because should I say there's a misrepresentation of information, intellectual theft, as well as a lack of of integrity. So what are the types of plagiarism that we have? We have the direct, paraphrasing, self, and mosaic. So what the first one we're going to be looking at is the direct plagiarism. This has to do with copying word for word the work of a person. You are copying word for word the word of a person without acknowledgement. The second one is the paraphrasing. The paraphrasing has to do with writing somebody's ideas in your own words but without proper word citation. You're taking somebody ideas, even if you have restructured the tenses, you have to ensure that your the ideas you're putting down, even if it is not yours, you acknowledge or reference the original what creators of that particular article. And then you have the self plagiarism. This one has to do with reusing one's previously submitted work without what disclosure. And then you have the mosaic plagiarism, combining both copied materials from multiple sources while presenting them as an original work. You've been able to look at this book, look at this book, look at this book, and then you put everything together as though it is your own genuine creation. Then we have the accidental plagiarism. This is where failing to cite resources due to negligence and lack of what understanding takes place. Now, in the academic environment, what is very common there is copying assignments, purchasing project reports, submitting downloaded research papers while using AI generated content without dis without proper disclosure were prohibited. Now, if we have to analyze a scenario that was given to us, e say a student downloads a final year project from the internet and changes only the cover topic. Although the student submit the work under the time frame, the little intellectual effort being added to someone else, this constitutes or contributes what to plagiarism. So what the answer is here is the student violate honesty, integrity and fairness. The student violates fairness. So the student also gains for unfair academic what advantages. Now, software piracy, using unauthorized copying and destruction and installation or use of software. So sharing licensed software is illegal. Now, why software piracy is unethical? Software piracy, like I said, it is something that refers to unauthorized copying, distribution, installation and use of of software. So its examples include using cracked software, sharing licensed software illegally, and then downloading printed pirated applications. So why is it unethical? It is unethical because some people argue that it does not cause any direct harm, especially for students. You have them having to copy their friends' assignment. Sorry, have you done your assignment? I bring it now. They just copy, they mix it up. So it is actually there's a limit. Now, software piracy violates ownership rights, deprives creators of income, discourages innovation, and undermines fairness. Now, we have the open source softwares as well as ethics. For instance, not all restrictions are identical. Open source softwares allow the users to study the source code, modify changes, but there are some that is not the case. So now, what are the responsibilities of students and professionals? They should be able to acknowledge the source, cite reference, avoid plagiarism, respect software licenses, respect creators' rights, protect proprietary information, as well as promote originality and innovation. With this, we've come to the end of our class today. I hope you enjoyed the class. If you have any question, like I said, drop it on the platform and I will respond to them. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.